Hey everyone, it's Saturday, August 30th. I wanted to give you an update. So, things are going pretty good. Yes, I'm still upset about the weeds that my neighbor, and the grass that my neighbor killed with Roundup. So, we decided to just my husband had a talk with him. Obviously, we decided not to call the police. That's pretty petty. I was just really upset. So, hopefully I never have to deal with that again, but anyway, so here are the ducks, Bob 1, Bob 2, and Bob 3. So they seem to be doing all right. They're really low maintenance, which I like. So if I could just train myself to like duck eggs and duck, then I'd be all right. So yeah, the pawpaw trees aren't doing very well, so I need to research what's going on. Either they had too much water at the beginning of the summer, or the fact that they're in open sunlight. So conflicting information on the internet, on various university websites. Some say it's okay to grow them in open sun. Some say it's not. They have to be in shade. So could be that it's too much sun. I don't know. To research. So anyway, I'm standing over here by my iris tomato that was mislabeled as an Isis tomato. They're doing all right. And then over in the other corner, I had Matt's cherry tomato, but then the ducks made that their home. I tried to dig out the tomato and plant it in my garden, and it died. So, it's now that's the duck nest. So, and the ducks have been going around. You'll see like white things. That's the white duck's feather. But they've been going around and digging up all the newspaper I put around the trees. I put newspaper, and then I put straw. And some places they've been digging that up, and it's been shredded everywhere. So, but I mean, there's worse things to deal with. But you can see the little pieces of newspaper all over the yard and duck feathers. But I've been noticing them eating stuff underneath, so there must be some nice grubs and things, which is what I want them to do, keep the pests down. So we're starting at the opposite end of the garden. I want to show you some of the things I did. I was having the most weed pressure right here against where the grass is, so I did some extensive weeding this last week and put a whole bunch of newspaper down. So I probably spent about 5 hours weeding. The nice thing about no-till gardens is that weeding over time gets less and less. So there's a lot more work this year and a lot less soil fertility, but the nice thing is over the next few years there'll be less work and more soil fertility. That seems to be what all the research is showing, and so I'm really excited. So I've been trying to keep the weeds down and not let any weeds go to seed. So yeah, there's a lot less weeds this week. And what I've been doing, just because I'm trying to do as little work as possible, is just throwing the weeds into the center lanes. And none of them have re-sprouted. They're just drying up and adding to the straw. So it's actually working just fine. So yeah, we have quite a bit. I actually made a list of everything I have. That's a ancho chili, and I'm not going to get too many, but here's another one right here. But I have a lot of banana peppers, so I ended up with more banana peppers than I had expected. So over here too. And jalapeños, some of them are starting to turn purplish, which will then turn red. I want to make a hot sauce with red ripened jalapeños, because I had one, like a Boar's Head brand, and it was really good. It was just like salt, jalapeno, sun ripened red jalapeno, and vinegar. And so I want to try to duplicate that. I'll probably cook it outside so I don't gas everyone out of the house. So Thai chilies, doing really good. And so I'm going to be making a hot sauce with those too. And then some of them I will string up and just dry. And then the tomatoes behind that have been giving me steady crops, but I don't really like that. So next year I'm going to look for varieties that will just ripen all at once so that we can just can them, because this is a lot more difficult. And I'm not a tomato fan. My husband loves them, but he can only eat so many tomatoes at once. So getting little bits here and there is just not really ideal. So the corn, We have lots of corn. Some of them is ready, so we're going to be pulling those off and having corn on the cob here soon. So even the little plants are producing corn. I don't know if they're going to fully ripen or not, but counted about 20 ears of corn the other day. So for a first-year amateur, I'd say that's pretty good. So the stuff over here, the eggplant, is actually still growing. So I'm just going to let it keep going, and maybe who knows, maybe I will get an eggplant before it freezes. So, but the other stuff here, those were supposed to be my bell peppers. I highly doubt. I mean, they're finally starting to take off. But I highly doubt that they will do anything in time before a freeze. So I need to do stuff with this kale. It's gotten too big. It's putting pressure on the asparagus. So my sister's coming tomorrow, and with a whole bunch of apples from her tree. So we're going to make applesauce and apple pie filling and can that. And I think we're going to try to make a whole bunch of kale chips too. So some of this kale's been around and it's a little bit tough because it's kind of been in the ground for a while. But I think it'll do good for kale chips. So we're also going to make pesto tomorrow. So we have this Thai basil, and then in the front I have regular basil. So yeah, I got a lot of weeds out. There's still some. This is where the potatoes were. I've dug a lot of potatoes up and then planted some lettuce and the lemon balm and stuff. There's still a few potato plants, as you can see, and then this back row still has potatoes. So I would plant more stuff, but the soil is just not very fertile right here. So I'm going to plant a green manure, which is just a crop that fixes nitrogen that you then not till, but like rake back into the ground. So a very popular one is like winter wheat or buckwheat. So there's various ones that I can do, even just clover. But so we'll see. And then a surprise. See, this is all my broccoli that's not doing anything. And then, bam! Look at that. This is a sprouting broccoli variety, so it doesn't give the full heads like you get from the store. So that's about it. So here's my hand. So yes, a bite of broccoli. Look at that. All that work for a bite of broccoli. So this area still needs to be weeded. So my strawberries. But this other section, I weeded really good. So, and I'm in a newspaper. I weeded out here too around my broccoli. So if you compare to my last video, it's quite an improvement. My cucumbers have run out of steam. Today I actually made 6 quarts and then 1/2 gallon of sour pickles that are now fermenting. So some of that's from the church garden and some of that's from here. Lots of little tiny cherry tomatoes. This variety is just so cute. I'll probably just keep growing it. It'll probably self-seed, to be honest. So, and then, I estimated I had 6 pounds of tomatoes left. I think this is more like 25 pounds of tomatoes. Not very good on my estimates. But yeah, so it's coming along. I did quite a bit of weeding work. I'll keep going at it because some of these weeds, like this one here, that's going to seed. So I want to get that out of the ground before the seed scatters. So and so then I just throw it in along the path, and that way it's just less work, and just the smallest amount of work possible is what I want to do. So another thing I discovered, most of these cabbages are not doing too well, but like you can feel them and there's no head forming, but some of them are forming heads. So I have about 2 little heads. That one right there is forming a head. So I will have 2 tiny cabbages to put into 1 pot of borscht. So again, lots of work for not a lot of gain, but it's the first year of my giant garden. So that's my celery. I actually tried one the other day and it's edible, so I was shocked. So now I have 7 giant bunches of celery to figure out what to do with. So yeah, and then the beets are doing well, and the parsnips, that's kale and rainbow chard, or Swiss chard, sorry. And then the beets behind it, okra. And the raspberries with some comfrey and more Swiss chard in between. So I think I'll be eating Swiss chard pretty regularly until like probably mid-November. So yeah, and then in November I'll pick the parsnips and the rutabaga and the beets. I'll dig up the rest of the potatoes, and so, you know, it's supplementing some food. My goal would be lots more food. I would love to have 50% of my diet come from my garden, but that'll take a few years of planning. And my biggest issue, I think, is that I love to garden, but I don't necessarily love to cook or preserve. So that's kind of more the discipline part. So yeah, I'm pretty happy though. You know, it started off really slow, but it seems like over time there's been more and more soil fertility as the straw underneath the soil, because we raised up these mounds with straw, and as that's decomposed, there's just been slowly more fertility. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my garden, and so I'll continue to give you guys updates. So until next time, this is Rebecca signing off. Bye.